take over the Titansmith spot at 18 points. So Titansmiths are also qualified for the playoffs at this point. And the uncle asking the most appropriate question, why do we only have one bed? How appropriate, as we find silver arrows on the first chest. That is a great starting item here. That's going to make the Ganon fight a lot easier, and we're not even anywhere near the Ganon fight yet. So this is what we're doing in Week 6 for playing Standard mode, as we had a quick map check and I missed it. Hopefully our tracker caught it. Missed it again. So what we're doing in Standard mode is we are going to drop into this hole here and see what lovely item our uncle has for us. It might be a sword, it might be something else. It is a hammer. That is actually one of the better starting items. In swordless mode, that's the item you actually want, because that's the item that would defeat Ganon. In this mode, it doesn't, obviously. But that is also a very good repeatable use weapon, and we have an early lamp. That is not a good sign for runners who are not fans of playing Aghanim's Tower, because that is an item you need for Aghanim's Tower. It also provides light access to other dungeons, such as Eastern Palace and I think Palace of Darkness, Turtle Rock, and some others as well. Misery Mire is the most commonly feared one to do in the dark. So here we are in the castle now. We are on our way to save a lovely girl from a very dank and not too dark cell. And we're going to get a few items along the way here. So we're going to start our dig in the basement right now. So the first item in the first chest is a heart container, full heart container. Now that was not, you may have noticed that was not a full heart refill. We have a heart that we like to call Sank Heart. In this, if you were to see the spoiler log, all the hearts are listed as boss heart container. There's only one that is not a boss heart container. That is what we refer as Sank Heart, and that's the one that refills your health completely. Boss heart containers don't have to, because the health refill happens after you pick up the crystal or the pendant. So Jeffy can use the hammer on this guard right now, and going to go in the next room. Daaanty is not too far behind. I think that was $300 we found in that chest. So 300 rupees immediately added to the bank account, and that's going to be good for Zora money later. We're getting notes in chat. I'm going to assume this is correct until I can see the GFV side. But we're getting notes that the green pendant is at Tower of Hera, the blue pendant is at Desert Palace. And it looks like crystal number 5, one of the red crystals, is at Eastern Palace today. We have I believe that was a B Torp. B in a bottle. Yes, it was. And both runners are now on their way upstairs. No mirror, so they can't warp to the start of the dungeon. Bit of a shame. So, yeah, they're just going to make their quiet way upstairs here and, sneak past all the guards. They don't want to make any kind of a noise here. They're taking this shortcut back because, hey, it's there. Why not? Blue guard doesn't even notice. Such useless guards. They don't even notice people walking by. Even right there. Notice that one on GFE side. Didn't even notice them. Horrible, horrible Hyrule guards here.
Cyclone, you have a co-commentator.
It sounds like I do now. Sorry, there he is. Cool Papa Bell's with us. How are you doing tonight?
Well, I'm going to find out I closed out Discord and opened it up again, because now it's decided to let my microphone work.
Yeah, I noticed it was working stop earlier and then it disappeared. So glad to have you with us now. We haven't missed too much yet. We have hammer as a starting item, silver arrows in the first chest in Link's house. Other than that, not a lot of highlight.
Silver and hammer certainly is pretty exciting, so that's highlight enough by itself, I guess.
It is. And we're now in the deep, dank, dark sewers. Now, we did find the lamp in the chest under Uncle as well, which means Zelda doesn't have to give us her lamp today. We have access with our own lamp. So, you know what? We're going to use all this lamp anyway because we can.
So, while we have a second, did you discuss the playoff implications for this race?
Yes, I did. Yes, excellent. I did. All teams that are already in are in. All teams that are already out are out. There's no team waiting to find out what's going on. So, we know Titansmith is in the playoffs. We know that Sphere Fading is not.
There are some seeding ramifications, possibly. Titans Myths can get second place, a second seed with a win here, and some other weird happenings from matches later this week.
I guess that would be a implication I did not consider. Thank you for filling us in on that. As GFE now goes through what I believe is the last locked door before he gets out here. Yes, he is. He's going to find the 3 items in the back of the escape right now in the secret room. Not really that secret. You see a bomb crack in the wall, but there's the map. There is a piece of heart, and there is 10 arrows. He has 1 bomb left, and so does Daaanty. They both had 2 bombs. So at this point, both players are going to pop out this door into the Sanctuary. Daaanty has made up a little bit of ground here, it looks like. 5:52 or so Sanctuary. Slightly longer for Daaanty, not bad. That was another heart container. We will see on Daanty's side if it's Sank heart or just a regular heart. It is regular heart, so not vanilla.
We got a map back there. I saw a green pendant at Tower of Hera and a regular pendant at Desert Palace and Crystal over in Eastern.
Yeah, we have that, except I think that it was not properly tracked on Desert Palace. Desert Palace is indeed the blue pendant, and Tower of Hera is indeed the green pendant, which does have a different icon. We'll get that fixed up on the tracker in a moment for you. In the meantime, we have GFE heading up to the north, taking out one of the squids up there. Daaanty is already in the Lost Woods. I think GFE is going to check the Lumberjack ledge.
If you finding a nice tree pole there, too. 8 bombs, which Daaanty finds as well over in the woods. And the Lumberjack Forest just has a blue rupee, so...
What do you mean that's not required? Anyway.
Want every single rupee they can get?
Yeah, exactly. It's all rupee seed. Anyway, moving on. GFE now in the Lost Woods, and we didn't see much in the drop hole either, so... I don't believe that was anything important I saw there. We'll see it again in a second anyway.
3 bombs drop down, so...
Yep. Yeah. They already maxed out their bombs. So now we're down in the Blind's Hut. And let's see what Daaanty finds in Blind's Hut. He takes a little bit of a maneuvering lead here, not having checked the Lumberjack. But if this has to be one of those really crazy seeds, he might have to run back and check that later at some point. So right now he's going to head down, open the first chest, which contains... Oh, there's one of our single green rupees. There's a big 20. There's a big 20. There's a piece of heart. This is one of the most bland and boring Blind's Huts I've seen. This can make it up. There it is, a cane of burn. That makes it up.
Yeah, that's at least. Apparently the seed just wanted to give us all the good stuff right up front and then stall for a little bit. Our runners are definitely looking for some other pieces of that Dark World access. Getting the hammer early on. They're probably very hopeful they won't have to fight Aga 1 this time around.
The Cane of Burn is actually something worth looking into, though, and the reason for that is because Spike Cave is already open 8 minutes into this race. They can go to Spike Cave, pound the sticks, and then use that Cane of Burner. The question is, will 6 hearts be enough to get them there once the magic runs out? And the well didn't really have much of anything today, just hearts, money, sticks.
Yeah, cash up front too. No worries about having to farm for Zora. That bottle vendor is going to go out of business very quickly at this rate. Just handing out root.
He got the hero discount, and Daaanty nice enough to free the chicken at the back. What a nice kind alien he is. So coming out of the chicken hut, and he's gonna head over to Sick Kid because he has a bottle. He can bully the Sick Kid for whatever he has, which is his allowance. And the back of the tower, oh, there's a good item. Half magic, and that gives you free magic fill as well. So that'll be nice for GFE as well, who has no magic.
And that'll definitely clear up any of those issues with Spike Cave. That blue cane will definitely last them the whole time through with the Cane of Burna in there. Not quite in logic yet, though. They do need a glove to pick up that rock at the end.
That is correct. They do still need the glove to get up there, but once they can get up there, they can do it. So that immediately screams the concern that something could be in there today.
I just found it weird. The cape will get you into Aghanim's tower, but the Cane of Burna will not. Sort of a strange distinction there.
Oh, we just saw the library, but I didn't catch it, so I'm going to get another look here. That was just a triple bomb pack on the library today, and GFE is of the theory that he goes right into the race game, doesn't check the item, just goes straight in and plays right away. Gotta love the fact he's out there to have fun.
Yeah, disappointed in this prize. I think it was a heart piece at the end. Daaanty did not bother with it and is already on to making South Shore checks. Finds a big 20 inside the dam.
GFE was playing the gamble that it was something useful, which very often can work out, but this time he also quits early. And pull the switch, and you want to make sure you pull the correct switch. I think the other switch releases a bunch of bombs down on you from the sky. And 20 bucks in the flooded spot.
So, slowing down after that escape sequence. We'll see if Mini Moldorm Cave has anything better. Daaanty switching to Cane of Burna strats just to play it safe with these annoying mini Trolldorms.
So, yeah, this is called Mini Moldorm Cave, by the way, and I think the reason is obvious. So I won't explain that any further. Items back here. We have money. We have a Moon Pearl. That's a sword. That's more money. And blueberries.
So there's more piece of our Dark World puzzle falling into place as GFE is deciding to check out Agina's cave. Possibly thinking the seed is being so stingy that it might make our runners head over there eventually anyway. We'll also check out Desert Ledge on the way there. Just 10 arrows.
This is an interesting gamble coming over here before checking the item-rich South Shore area. This is a really, really interesting gamble. So we'll see if this pays off here, as Daaanty is on his way to Ice Rod Cave right now. And will coming over here pay off early, and will Daaanty remember to do this if it is something we need? We're about to get that answer right now, so what it is. Nope, Daaanty doesn't want to come over here.
So, the story so far is GFE being very thorough and Daaanty making some judicious skips that are working out in his favor. The Lumberjack in Agina's cave, which turned out to be nothing that Daaanty has not bothered with, and GFE is not even going to Mini Moldorm Cave. Another very interesting choice. Maybe just be picking up some bombs first on the way there.
I think he's doing a water walk storage or something along those lines here. He's going to try and store a water walk. He might be planning to force his way into the Zora area with, but he doesn't have the Moon Pearl, so he can't check Waterfall Cave. In the meantime, he's going to Eastern Palace, so that's on his agenda first.
And don't you need boots to prime a water walk? Or is there another way to do it that I'm not aware of?
I wonder what he's doing. Yeah, I wonder what he's doing. Oh, he was checking the island. I didn't even see what was on the island. That's what he was doing. Okay, hopefully chat saw what was on the island, because I didn't catch it. Strastral's closet has a heart, money, and blueberries. We are getting a Fate Flipper from Daaanty to check the hole. I always approve of this strategy. Get out of the way, and it... Well, we have to remember that Power Glove is out of logic, so it's very possible that might have been intended to be a Titan's Myth, but we'll find out later. The fact that it is a Power Glove tells me that we're probably going to find the Flipper somewhere very close at hand, possibly in Eastern Palace.
Yeah, that seems most likely. So GFE is probably going to find those flippers coming up here very soon. Unless they're vanilla flippers, of course. But no, that wouldn't be in logic yet without a glove. So yeah, they almost have to be in Eastern Palace.
Either the first glove is here leading to the gloves on Death Mountain, or the flute's in here leading to Death Mountain. Could be anything like that. And Waterfall has some wooden sticks and a piece of heart. So that first chest was a bunch of sticks as well in the Eastern Palace. Both runners are good on sticks. They just can't use them yet.
I always appreciate runners getting trolled. Daaanty completing a heart piece and getting a health refill in Waterfall Cave somehow puts you back into the swimming state. It was the second chest, though, so it didn't slow him down at all.
We have a confirmation, by the way, 21, a big 20 on the island, so that won't be of consequence to either runner today. Here's item number 2 in Eastern Palace. We have the map. That's also not of consequence to the runners ever. What is Daaanty going to get out for 500 bucks on King Zora? That is a Fisher Price shield. That is the most expensive Fisher Price shield I have ever seen.
Yeah, being thorough with those South Shore checks, does have Dark World access at this point, so he will probably immediately head into the portal right here, check out Hype Cave, Stumpy, your dig game, some of these initial Dark World checks, and see what he can find here.
I would still not want to go too far down the rabbit hole with the sequence break, because GFE finds some sticks again. So I wouldn't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, because we don't know. And now we know that Swamp Palace is a crystal, so those flippers are required. I saw number 6 crystal over at Thieves Town as well. Red Pendant was over at Turtle Rock to round out our tracker here. So that gives you the lay of the land here. I wouldn't go too far down the rabbit hole knowing the flippers are required. I would maybe do Hype Cave and then get out of here. And just figure out where those flippers are so I know that I'm within logic and can do that. So I wouldn't do all the Dark World stuff at this point, knowing that I need to have flippers to get here. There's our mirror, by the way, in Hype Cave.
And that's definitely going to make it more tempting to go over to see Stumpy and K45, I would think. But yeah, we'll definitely see a little bit of Daanty's philosophy about sequence breaking and just how far he wants to chase this before he tries to get the flippers and get back into logic. We'll see if our suspicion is correct and GFE finds the big key. So we'll stall a little bit to see what all Eastern Palace has for us.
Well, we're not going to be able to fight the boss, so what we're going to find out now is whether the compass is in this big chest, meaning that there's an item on the boss, which we have to kill anyway, so it doesn't matter. But if there is not an item on the boss, then at least that will tell us whether this is... look at that! There's his type power glove. So Hobo was the Titan's mitt. Even though Daaanty does have the power glove, and technically it is logical for him to be here right now, this is not the way he was intended to do it. He was intended to get the one out of Eastern Palace, and look at that. As we talk about the flippers, the sequence broken flippers got Daaanty the sequence broken power glove got Daaanty the flippers, which is why I said you don't want to go too far down the rabbit's hole. Because now he's gonna know there's another glove somewhere in the light world.
Yeah, so he does stumble into the flippers to bring him sort of back into logic. But yeah, he will definitely want to keep that in mind, that there has to be another glove somewhere around in the light world, and probably he knows right where it is at this point, given that Death Mountain would not be in logic yet for him, so he has to know it's in the Sahasrara Eastern area right now.
I can't think what else would be left, except for Agina. He didn't check Agina, so he could be thinking it's Agina's too. As we got a piece of heart in the, I think that was a vanilla 15 digs. So piece of heart, vanilla piece of heart too. That was a phenomenal digging game today. But yeah, you're right. Other than Agina, Daaanty has not gone to Eastern Palace, so he has to know it's in one of those two locations somewhere, and he gets to take whatever he wants to.
Yeah, so what you can do in the Dark World with just one glove, mitts don't unlock a whole lot of stuff until the very end of things and up on Death Mountain. We'll see what Daaanty decides to do. He might try and put off doing the eastern area until he has the bow and can do all of Pod as well at the same time.
Indeed. He, knowing that that's glove is there, he could gamble and just hope there's nothing else there until the time to do Palace of Darkness. That would save him some time in terms of travel that GFE would lose then, but we'll see how that works out. We'll see if he's able to do that.
And we are going to see here, I think, another consequence of finding that early cane of Burna, which is very easy blind fights if you want them. Blue cane plus half magic means just a dead blind. Daaanty is making his way into the Village of Outcasts to make some checks here, and we will likely see a fair bit of Thieves Town. Probably all of it.
So GFE is going to make his way to the hobo right now. He does not have the flippers yet, and he's going to find the Titans here and think, oh, there are flippers somewhere.
So yeah,
Ding, ding, yellow glove.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this hope definitely turned out to be a lucky break for Daaanty, that one sequence break sort of let him jump ahead just a little bit in the logic chain, but not in a way that sort of got him lost in the logic of where all the items were supposed to be, just from the way the seed shook out. So definitely an early advantage for Daaanty, I think.
So Daaanty is going to go to Thieves Town right now. And I think that was another B-Torp, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
I wonder if we're going to get a B-Torpus here at the ending.
Everywhere in the Dark World today.
Yeah. Well, one was in the Light World, but yeah, he's everywhere today. So GFE is going to clean out the Zora area. Not much there. He drops the bottle. He's going to see what the well, that piece of heart gave him a heart refill, and he lost the ability to walk in that format. So he's going to go in and check what the bottle is now, it looks like. And we found our dungeon items in Thieves Town. The bottle fill was a fairy, which seems completely normal.
Especially since GFE will be finding the magic mirror pretty soon, which then means he won't really need to death warp at any point in time, so the fairy won't be a hindrance at all.
So GFE is going to spend his $500. Both runners have information that the island is not in play, or I mean the ledge rather is not in play. Daaanty working his way through Thieves Town, and this is a room that I am not a fan of because it's possible to soft lock in this room if you end up killing one of those blob characters in just the wrong spot. And hint tile. Some cash is on a boss. Thanks, game.
In East House, we got the helpful hint, something sharp requires the hammer. Which doesn't narrow it down too much.
Yeah, pretty much everything requires a hammer in this seed. It's the first item you get in the escape. But yeah, what the hint system will be looking at specific areas that are locked specifically by the hammer. So for example, believe it or not, Turtle Rock is not one of those areas. But it could be somewhere in Swamp Palace, because you have to have Swamp Palace to get beyond the first couple chests. It could be the Hammer Pegs, which someone in chat is pointing out. Magic Bat would not qualify because you can mirror into that from the Dark World. GFE getting his mirror.
It was definitely one that requires the hammer. And yeah, the Turtle Rock thing is weird, because in this mode, you need the hammer to get into Turtle Rock, but in inverted mode, you do not. So the hints are mode independent. So they have to work in all possible modes.
That is correct. That's why you don't see Turtle Rock on the as a place people will check if they know something requires a hammer. Could be in this chest in Thieves Town as well, which Daaanty will probably get to in a moment, as long as he finds a small key up here, which he does.
Meanwhile, if he get into Swamp Palace to find the hint there, which is about Swamp Palace, told us there is nothing of value in the left side of Swamp, so that's always a convenient hint to find, especially right on the doorstep.
It's nice when the dungeon is sentient and tells us about itself. Hey, look at that. That was a fire rod, I believe.
Yeah, the seed is definitely giving our runners a clear way to go, because that opens up the back of Skull Woods now, conveniently again when you're in the area, so I would expect that will be Daanty's next play.
Most likely, and GFE is going to make his way to K45 now, I believe, doing the Smith chain without the Smith. I'm going to give you that blind pun that I just saw. Ganon is a bacon of despair. I can honestly say I've never seen that one before.
Yeah, Daaanty did manage to shake off the agony of that pun and put in a pretty good blind fight. Was right on script through right up until the last hit there, but gets through and collects our first crystal of the race, which is one of those 5-6 crystals, which will, open up the possibility of Pyramid Fairy in the near future.
Well, only if we find a bow somewhere soon, because that 5-6 crystal is the other in Easter Palace. That other 5-6 crystal, I mean to say. So what's in C-shaped house right now? We have a heart container. No clue if that's Saint Card or a regular heart again, but he has full health, who cares?
So we are about to see an advantage that GFE is getting from having followed the logic, or mostly followed the logic.
Yeah, start out.
Since he has mitts, he can go ahead and do all of these mitts checks in the village of outcasts right now. So return the blacksmith, check out hammer pegs, all of this stuff over here.
And if he feels so inclined to take the purple chest around Hyrule, he can do that as well. So we'll see if he chooses to do that. Hammer pegs will be checked now. Daaanty is not going to have that check able to be done yet. I'll have to come back to that later once he realizes the Titan Smiths are in Easter Palace. Which, again, he should have a pretty good clue that could be where they are, but we don't know for sure if he does have that in mind yet. There's our map for Skull Woods.
Palace of Darkness impression, putting all the keys in the front.
And the bullfrog is transformed into a small little man. And pay the small little man $10 and you get your bow. Wasn't I just talking about that?
Wow, so a forced Eastern Palace double dip. Well, no. Yes, a forced Eastern Palace double dip, because you cannot return the Smiths to get that bow without both gloves.
That is correct. It is a forced double dip. But I think that was Bombos I saw in the Skull Woods. Taking a look at the replay, it was indeed Bombos. So we do have one of our 3 coins today. You may see where that's lit up on the tracker. There's 2 coins to the right of that. We'll be lit up in a moment here on Daanty's side. The 3 coins in order are Bombos, which you just picked up, Ether, and a Quake. So Ether and Quake to the right of what just got lit up, those are the 3 medallions. You may notice 2 blank circles on the tracker at the bottom on the boss row at the very far right. Those 2 of those medallions, or maybe the same one for both, we don't know yet, will open those 2 dungeons on the right. And that will tell us what may be required. In the case of Turtle Rock, we may not even need it today. We'll find out later.
Yeah, those medallions are one of those things that are always in the back of a runner's mind. Am I going to have to go on a hunt for these? Because if they lock one dungeon, they can be just about anywhere else in the game. So they can be annoying to track down. So it's always nice to get 1 or 2 out of the way right away to lessen the chances that you're going to have to spend a long time looking for one.
So now we're going to do the clear logical path from Daanty's side, and GFE will probably eventually have to find that fire rod himself to do this, but right now he's doing Thieves Town. So, this is where the fire rod is, I believe we said. So Daaanty is now following the logic and doing the Mothula fight next.
And he's decently stocked up on hearts, but we are still on green mail, which makes this a little bit challenging. That has made it easier for Daaanty to do a couple of death warps to help his routing here through Skull Woods, but he will drop into the Mothula fight right now.
We also have a fighter sword. That will make this challenging. He's going to be relying on the fire rod, I think, for a lot for this fight, because it's a lot stronger. May have to use the hammer as well. That sword will not be something he wants to use in this fight.
Yeah, half magic in clutch here that he can just spam out these fire rod shots. I believe it's 8 to kill Mothula, minus any that get eaten up by him. Yeah, that was very nice.
Half magic made that very spammable.
Yeah, exactly. Did not lose any damage on Mothula to him getting knocked into spikes, I don't think. So really well executed from Daaanty there.
And GFE getting dinged by the anti-fairy there. Anti-fairies are a little evil in that if they hit you, not only do you take health, but they basically slap you in the face by taking some of your magic as well.
So the big key off of Mothula, so he will come back and check out the big chest, which I believe is where our last item in Skull Woods is, and then we'll see the interesting choice of where is he going to go next. As we know, the right play is to make that Eastern Palace dip to get that bow, but I would suspect we won't see that right away.
He may very well put that off as long as possible, hoping to find the bow. If he does that, he's going to end up last location again after he goes to Eastern Palace anyway. And that's... So we know in this case, Eastern Palace, as you said, is the correct play. There's the boots, though, and he's going to be very happy to see that. He'll be able to run in Eastern Palace when he comes there.
Yeah, so that makes me think we're probably going to see some of those boots checks along the north side of the world, and I would not be surprised to see Daaanty go up Death Mountain. He's got the mirror and the hammer. He can get up to Tower of Hera and across to the east side of Death Mountain that way, which is probably going to lead him away from those second set of gloves in Eastern Palace.
Indeed. So, yeah, I have a feeling those gloves might not be seen for a little while for him, and that will hurt him when it comes down time to do things like Misery Mire, and you can't get there because you don't... Yeah, you might have the flute, but you can't lift a rock.
Yeah, and you see Daaanty doing what a lot of runners like to do, not checking the Lumberjack until he has the boots. Since you can't collect the item anyway, a lot of runners will just put off this check until they know they could potentially get the item. So now he gets the good news about the lack of Aghanim in this seat.
But he also just wasted a trip coming up here for no reason other than to do that. Now he's going to have... But at the same time, he is getting to road in Bumper Cave with it. It does have that advantage, too, which he's going to check right now. Once he bumps into a sign, or maybe he checked it on the way up. I didn't catch what it was.
Yeah, and he's also got these boots checks over here. He can do Graveyard Ledge, Bonk Rocks, and King's Tomb with the mirror as well, so...
So GFE is going to get a bacon pun. And Daaanty is now heading past Dark Sanctuary, as we call it when we start there in the inverted mode, and he's heading over to Graveyard Ledge. Going to enter the cave, and what lovely item awaits us here as GFE defeats Blind, who I swear didn't see it coming, and gets the first crystal of his match. His first
Hi-yo!
match. Gotta love that sprite celebrating. Piece of heart in Graveyard Ledge.
See, you don't want Blind to win the pun contest by default.
And the king... Okay. I was going to say the King's Tomb has an item that we're getting right now, but this has to be the worst king in the history of Hyrule to only have 1 rupee in his tomb. He must have been a really giving king.
Inflation, maybe? Maybe 1 rupee was worth a lot more when the king died.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's a collectible, like those dollar coins I like to hang on to.
So we see Daaanty is going to head over to Catfish here. This is a reasonable choice. When you're at that King's Tomb check, you're sort of never closer to Catfish than you are right at that moment. So we'll see what Daaanty decides to do. He might transition this into a pod Eastern area check from here, or again might just save and quit back to Sanctuary and head up Death Mountain at this point.
We know Catfish always has something. Could be an ice rod, could be something else of interest. Or just a heart container. So, quick shout out to Questifer Workin, who just resubscribed. Thank you for continuing to support PC Gaming. That is appreciated.
Absolutely, and this is a good time to suggest that if you're enjoying these racers, be sure to give both of them a follow, as well as staying tuned to Speed Gaming for more great races in the Link to the Past League. We are almost at the end of the regular season, of course, but the playoffs are still coming up, and they should be quite exciting.
And it's not just Link to the Past Randomizer League. There are other Link to the Past Randomizer events going on Speed Gaming as well. Not to mention other tournaments for other games like Zelda 1 Randomizer. There's some Final Fantasy going on. And some other games. I think I saw Azure Dreams had a tournament on. It might be over now. Donkey Kong Country 3. There was some Kirby's Dream Line going on. Lots of stuff always going on Speed Gaming. Always keep an eye here to see what's going on. Anyway, back to the race here. GFE killing the mummy to get his key to go fight Mothula. Daaanty is taking the old man home and gets a blue boomerang.
PFE is also well stocked on magic going into the Mothula fight, so Fire Rod again coming very handy. It's going to start off with a Fighter Sword spin.
Looks like the moth got a poke off the spike there, so another one. So those are negated. And there it is. So Daaanty is going to check inside Spectral Rock. Oh, look at that. There's our second coin. Our coin collection is coming along nicely.
And a hint, a unique item is in plain sight, like that one we just picked up, maybe?
Yeah, you think we just picked it up? Thanks, game.
More importantly, Daaanty showing off the hover strats for the swag back across that pit in Spectacle Rock Cave.
The only thing that could have made that hint better was if it said, Ether is in plain sight.
Would not put past these hints to do that.
Yeah, I've seen the same hint in Tower of Hera, both hint tiles before. Like, things like that happen. In fact, the other day, and there's a clip in the Discord about this the other day, we actually had a hint about something sharp in Eastern Palace as the other player picked up something sharp in Eastern Palace. Oh look, fairy in a bottle in Tower of Hera, and a map needs fire in Tower of Hera. Well, thank you for steering us away from the basement. We appreciate that. We would have figured that out anyway when we find both items here.
Yeah, so not the most useful of hints. Again. At least the hints are well placed, though. You know, they're very location appropriate so far.
Yeah, we're not finding that hint in Turtle Rock when we're already past Tower of Hera. So there's our useless key, since we know we don't need the basement item. The unique item is the Skull Woods. No, really?
I'm starting to think that whoever turned on, rolled the seed, turned on some sort of useless hints option that I was not aware existed.
So yeah, there was your boots hint right there, needless to say.
If he finds those boots at about the same time, showed off a bomb jump there to get over to the big chest. Daaanty, apparently not trusting his bomb jumps today, opted to jump up to the next floor and fall down to get that big chest in Tower of Hera here, and we'll head into the Moldorm fight with the hammer strats as the fastest available to Daaanty right now.
You're just gonna hammer that tail. It's hammer time. Oh, he actually is using this. Did use the sword on one hit, got him angry, and paid for it. That was a push off the ledge that is punishing in time.
Yeah, I would think he might have gone for a second sword slash before the second hammer hit to avoid that super fast angry mode.
Yeah, that would have done it for sure. Maybe he didn't realize that he gave a sword slash there and wasn't ready for that angry worm. Anyway, he kills it this time. Just a compass here because we already got our item. GFE is following the logical path that Daaanty has already followed. Now, again, there is still the difference between the two paths here. Daaanty, keep in mind, did not go to Eastern Palace. He sequence broke. He completely sequence broke the hobo, found a power glove there, and said, "That's good enough. I'm going to the Dark World." So he is literally on a long sequence break right now that he has still not closed. he knows that the other glove has to be in the light world because he did find the flippers in the dark world using the sequence broken hobo. So he knows that he would have had to have a power glove somewhere early to get to the dark world, because that power glove he shouldn't have had when he got those flippers. So that's one difference that Daaanty has. He has to go back and get that power glove. Whereas GFE also has a bow that he accessed with the Titansmith, having picked up that power glove in Eastern Palace, and having both gloves as a result. So GFE also has that bow. That's a huge difference between our runners right now.
Yeah, and so he has that knowledge of where the first glove almost certainly is, but he thinks he doesn't need it right now, which is sort of what's leading him in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I would be willing to bet we are going to see GFE transition into the pod Eastern dip, since he can full clear both of those dungeons right now with the advantage of that bow. So we'll see how much time he's able to gain on Daaanty as a result of this, as Daaanty does find the Master Sword in Paradox Cave.
I would fully expect he does that because GFE can go check Catfish and then just head right back to the south and go right into the pod Eastern Palace duel. He does have the flute, so I would just walk down from here and get it done. And that seems to me the most likely method to use. There's our single arrow, by the way, for those of you who are fans of the arrow that is the one to kill Ganon. There's a piece of heart, and not really much of interest up here.
Daaanty did at least get the mountain cave starting point. If he needs to get back up Death Mountain at some point in the future, it'll be much easier now. And now he is going to make this Eastern Palace dip, so this will get him back on track for the logic. But I would suspect he's going to clear out a lot of pod and Eastern, probably the whole pod Eastern area that he can do without the bow before he chases down the checks that those mitts give him.
That's the advantage that GFE has, because he can check all the items in pod and then go straight to the back. Whereas Daaanty, he's going to end up double dipping pod as well because he did not find the first mitts within logic. Now, some seeds it pays off to do the sequence break. It really does depend on the seed. Sometimes it does pay off to the sequence break, and I've seen it happen where you're expected to go up and down the mountain repeatedly, and doing a sequence break saves you trip up the mountain because you can do two things at once while you're up there. And I actually analyzed that seed myself on my own channel at one point. But, so that's a case where doing a sequence break really pays off. It saves you a lot of time. This is going to be a case where a sequence break doesn't pay off. It doesn't save you time. It actually costs you more time having to make an extra double dip.
And I don't believe Daaanty has a potion at all. We saw GFE stop in the potion shop to buy one, but fans of the Titan's mitts are probably going to hope that pod is bow-locked, so that Daaanty actually can't go too far into it and doesn't spend too much time in there without the bow.
Well, Daaanty is paying off everyone's favorite contortionist, Kiki the Monkey. We're going to get to find out, indeed, whether that first chest is going to suggest this is a Bowlock Palace of Darkness, and that may steer Daaanty out. It may cause him to try and go through the Bowlock site, but we'll find out. I don't think he has a potion, though, so he can't really do the Bowlock. Or did he buy one?
Yeah, I was just saying, I don't think Daaanty has one. I think he's got those couple of bees and a fairy, just whatever came in the bottles.
He is locked out, and GFE, already in Palace of Darkness himself, already paid off. Geeky is in there himself. Just got the wonderfully helpful hint to aim at the Eye of Goma. Now, this is useful information for Zelda 1. It's not useful information for Link to the Past. That's why it's a green joke hint.
The Z1, Z3 combo randomizer comes out, then that'll be a very useful hint.
I would love to see this someday, to be honest with you. But unfortunately, it's two different systems. I don't think it'll ever work.
Yeah, it'd have to be hacked together from the ground up.
Literally its own application.
Something you could do in Zelda Classic. That's so customizable. Somebody should get on that.
You know, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's the funny thing. So if he finds another key up, he spends a key to get a key. Gonna drop in the basement, see if he finds another key. He does. It's a big key. And Daaanty gets the useful information that something sharp requires the hammer. Thanks for telling me about a sword upgrade. I'm just gonna go ahead and say now that there's probably a sword in Swamp Palace. That's gonna be what I guess.
Yeah, that seems like a reasonable bet. Daaanty is going to have to go through this whole annoying sequence of the vanilla big key, back out to the big chest to get his gloves, as GFE pulls off the hammer yump. Nicely done. Jumps across to find his red meringue.
Does do it with a couple buffers. It's very, very gutsy and very rare to see someone try and do that with no buffers, but it has been done. Very, very stylish when you see that happen.
If he's showing off the bomb jump tech today.
Oh, GFE is going to use the key up here now, so this is interesting. So we're going to find 3 more chests over here, and then he has 1 more chest down below. He will know if he finds a key here, or if depending on the keys he finds here, how many keys he finds, whether he needs to open that last chest or not, because it is possible for a key to lock a key. We may not need to open that chest. So let's see what this other chest has. Both keys, we do have to open that chest. Unless I miscount the keys and we don't have 6. Yep, there's some bombs in there. And Daaanty, it looks like he's going to head to the pyramid and see what's over there today. Now, he did finish his tour of Eastern Palace. He does have his Titan's Mint now, so he is all set for that. I believe that was a bomb on the pyramid. No, it was a flute. That was a flute on the pyramid. Okay, I didn't see that correct because I looked at the replay. So, yeah, that was a flute on the pyramid. That will be necessary today because Misery Mire is required.
Yes, absolutely. That was good news for Daaanty because he will want to activate that right away. That will help out with his movement around the world, and more importantly, that will get him back in Kakariko Village and in the vicinity of the bow location.
So GFE, I'm going to be honest, I don't know if GFE is going to check that pyramid for a while. Let's see if he remembers to do that after doing the Eastern Palace and Palace of Darkness pair of dungeons here.
I think what will help is he will have both red crystals, so he might decide to do Pyramid Fairy and make that Pyramid Ledge check at the same time.
To me, that would be a smart play. Let's see if that's exactly what he does or not. Turtles down.
The Kakariko Dark World portal, that means he will be routing in the Smith's Chain at this point. No other reason to come back to Village of Outcasts right now, so that will put the bow in his hands. Probably be a little bit frustrating since he just came from the Palace of Darkness area, but that will get him back on the right track and where the logic wants him to be.
And he'll come to the realization that he was supposed to go to Eastern Palace as well, and this is going to be one of those times where you pick up the item you need and it starts to play on your mind thinking, am I now behind? Did I lose time in this race because of this? In reality, he actually was keeping a good pace without getting that, just he went back at the right time to get that bow that he didn't end up too far behind. And Hammer Pegs obviously was no good, so now he's going to get the bow from Bow here.
And since he has already done the south side of Dark World checks, he'll be able to just flute this purple chest directly over there if he wants to do it right now and head back toward Pod right away.
That is one advantage that he has compared to GFE right now. He doesn't have to drag that chest around at some point. GFE may just put off that chest until later anyway if he still even needs it.
Yeah, that's another one you often get hints about, or if you just never run into a sort of roadblock, you just never bothered to go back for that one. But Daaanty will clear it out right now, and we'll see just how important it is.
So in the meantime, we didn't talk about GFE fighting the king, and the king fell. So GFE is now in Eastern Palace, about to take on the Knight. And emerging from the darkness upstairs. Going to avoid the anti-fairies, push the switch. Gonna find the switch on the bottom section. There it is, behind the Igor. Switch in the upper left. Gonna make his way over there, and he is through. And now just has to shoot a couple of these guys in the eye and kill some other enemies, and he's good to go.
Well, Daaanty is opting to head to the Mire area, and unfortunately did not see the medallion that we're going to need to get into Misery Mire today.
I didn't see it either.
But this might be something that Daaanty does if he feels like he's behind. If you just follow... Oh, the hook shot. That's a big find.
That is a huge find. So that's a chain that GFE cannot do yet because he does not have that flute yet. Once he gets to the pyramid, he can do that. He can get to Mire. I have a feeling what's going to happen is GFE may delay. And let's see if he goes to Pyramid right now. I don't want to theorize this too much. If he goes to Pyramid now, no, he is not. So I'm going to suggest he may put off the Pyramid, and that will delay him access to Misery Mire. But he won't be worried about that until he's done all the other dungeons, I think.
Yeah, I'm thinking that if he just followed his opponent straight to the Pod Eastern area, that he wouldn't really be able to catch up that way. But he's opting to head over there now. I think maybe just... Yeah, oh, yeah, we're seeing the big bomb from GFE, it looks like.
Now, there could still be items here. This is one of my favorite locations now. In fact, when I started calling some races in this, the Pyramid ended up being a location where something was more often than not, which is really surprising. So let's see if that turns out to be the case here again today, where we have something important, like, you know, the Quake Medallion, let's say. If we even need that today, we don't know yet. Maybe the King of Samari is here at the pyramid today. And he will check the fairy while he's over here, as Daaanty gets the useful information to aim at the eyes of Goma. And a little correction on the hint, it is the eye of Goma, not the eyes of Goma. He only has one eye.
Hint. Do you even Zelda, bro? I don't know. I don't know where I was going.
He's gonna see that flute and be like, I'll take that first. Now he'll check out the inside of the pyramid. And you may have noticed a little glitch in the side of the pyramid with the graphic as well. It actually put the bomb hole in the lower side of the pyramid. Nothing at the Pyramid Fairy.
Our runners, by the way, are a very brisk pace here. GFE has 4 crystals, and we're still under an hour in.
This is a fantastic pace. This is what he needed to be able to get a win from Daaanty here. Daanty's team is already in the playoffs, which just all that's at stake here, as you said earlier, is seeding. But GFE is going to have a chance to play spoiler here because he's doing really, really well to keep the pace here with Daaanty, even ahead in some ways. In other ways, he's behind. Here's some music. And with that, for both of our runners now, the goose is loose. Swag Duck Air is now open for business. Call 555 Duck for all your flying needs in the land of Hyrule. No, does not work in Dark World. Phone number is not real. Please do not call. Avoid and quit.
So we see Daaanty having some frustration there. Did not actually have the big key. I believe that was down in the basement in the front of Pod, but he sort of routed around that to the right-hand side.
Yeah, it actually was in the basement. You climbed the stair to get the small key, dropped down, and you got the big key from that chest.
Yeah, so Daaanty will not have that red meringue, and more importantly, will not have the knowledge of what's in the big chest, so he might wind up having to come back for that later. Meanwhile, GFE also finding the hookshot, which means when he finally does make it up to Death Mountain, that will be an extremely efficient trip for him.
We got the information on the Misery Mire medallion. Neither of us noticed that this time, it looks like. Bombos, our tracker or our chat, one of them caught it. So Bombos is the, not Troll Rock, Misery Mire medallion today. Daaanty will be getting his big key in just a moment. A little bit of a time loss, not too bad though.
Yeah, we'll see if he decides to go back and hammer Yump again to get back to the big chest.
I don't think the big chest really had anything in it, did it?
It was just a red boomerang, so...
Oh, so you will have to pick that up to roll the item out, yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunately an item.
Oh, looks like GFE is making the Swamp Pals play. I actually, let me see. There's not that many items left here. He does still need the KSM. He does still need the, possibly another medallion, but so he's still searching for a medallion. Ice Rod is still... Actually, Ice Rod may not be needed, because it's a pendant dungeon. This is an interesting gamble. He knows he doesn't have... I think he knows he doesn't have to do the left side, correct?
Yes, that's... It's seen the hint.
So, yeah, he knows he has to do this dungeon anyway. I don't think I can question him doing this.
I was going to say, left side is most of the time gain that Go Mode Swamp gives you, so knowing that he can skip left side already means it's not going to be too much slower than if he were doing it in full Go Mode. And there are just so many items to check in here that I agree. I think this is a good play.
If he's lucky and finds that that KSM along the way, I think that would be enough at that point to potentially put him into Go Mode. Oh no, he needs he has the flute now, so yeah, that would put him in Go Mode, I think.
Yeah, it's just that red cane on GFE's side, so... Well, on Daanty's as well, now that he has found his bow, of course.
Correct. Yeah, the reason we can say this Go Mode without knowing what the Turtle Rock medallion is, if we find that KSM, we don't have to go into Turtle Rock. We have everything we need to defeat the crystal dungeons we need to clear. So Turtle Rock would not be important. Desert Palace would not be important if we can backdoor anyway if we needed to. So let's see if he's right. Of course, the KSM could still be in one of those pendant dungeons, and the one you don't want to see in is Turtle Rock. Which would be impossible anyway, because you have to start Turtle Rock. So we know Turtle Rock's out of play completely now.
I was going to say for GFE, he does need to find a second sword at some point. We know there is one up in Paradox Cave, so he won't have to go too far out of his way to get it, but that is one more item he officially needs for Go Mode.
And again, remember, Swamp Palace is one of those places locked by a hammer. We know something sharp is locked by a hammer. So it could be that the sword is in here as well. This might be another reason he's making this play. So if my logic and my guessing is correct, the sword is probably downstairs from the drain room here. Okay, that means it's probably in Waterfall Cave, in the Waterfall room.
He also had to skip the big chest, so there's always a chance it's back there, too.
Okay, does he want to go back to the big chest? He's not checking.
Yeah, not opting to go back right now. Again, might duck back in if he needs to. Not see if he's found the compass yet, but there's always a chance he could sort of rule out items in the big chest based on what's on Argus.
Good. And we have people telling us the sword is probably going to be an Ice Palace. Or it could be here on Argus. You know, the best fish and chips in all of the Dark World, and so good that it eats you. I don't know how that gets by the EPA.
And they're sort of falling down on the job in Hyrule.
Yeah. Oh, Argus stayed close on GFE there. That was a bit of a creep. So get your silver arrow out and fire! Or just hit with a sword, that works. Oh, you did get the silver arrow. I saw it on the replay. Item on here was a 5-5er, so will he go back in to check the big chest? Or will he go straight to Ice Palace and see if there's a sword in there? Could be in Spike Cave too, actually. He is going back in. He wants to rule out the big chest. So Daaanty is now making his way back to Eastern Palace. He is going to finish that up. That will be the 5th dungeon clear, the 5th crystal for him. So that will put them back on even Peggy, whereas the dungeon that, let me just do the math here, or not the math, but the scan. I was going to give you the 4th crystal for him, because he did Tower of Harry. He completed Moldorm, and GFE did not. So it's only the 4th crystal for Daaanty. There's the sword! I had a feeling it was here somewhere.
Oh, in spirit, it was behind that chest in the waterfall room.
Yep, it was locked behind the big key in the waterfall room. GFE, I'm sure, very happy you checked that now.
And he is, unsurprisingly, just going to head toward the next crystal dungeon that he can complete, hoping to find that Cane of Samaria in Ice Palace, so that then he can just finish off Misery Mire and head straight up to Ganon's Tower.
And Daaanty picks up his magnetic circle from the Armos Knights, who, if they fall that quickly, are they really knights? By the way, Quake is in the Lost Woods, in case you need to know that. So, you know what? We've seen 2 items in the Lost Woods. Guess where Quake is, ladies and gentlemen?
I think I know.
Yeah, I think chat knows too. Chat's onto it. I have a feeling GFE knows too. Now the good news is that will be completely irrelevant. We know Pedestal is dead, so to speak, because the only place that would be relevant for would be Turtle Rock. And since we don't have the Cane of Samaria, we can't really go into Turtle Rock anyway, and since Cane of Samaria is our Go Mode item, we therefore have no reason to go into Turtle Rock, so Quake will not be relevant today.
So Daaanty is opting to skip the Pyramid Ferry. We saw there was nothing of any importance there, so this will gain him a little bit of time on GFE.
Well, we know that a heart container is held with a grumpy fish. We saw that earlier. And yes, both King Zora and Catfish qualify as grumpy fish. They also qualify as someone friendly. They can't make up their mind, apparently.
I'm trying to think here where this cane might be that would help Daaanty get back into the race. I think his best hope is if it's somewhere in Desert Palace and GFE decides to spend time checking Death Mountain, making those checks that Daaanty already made before heading down to find it. Because you sort of think if he just follows in GFE's steps right now, and they find all the items they need along the logical path, that it's going to be tough for Daaanty to catch up with Execution at this point, given how much of a lead GFE has.
Now, it's a very interesting play how to as well, because he knows he can flute from wherever it is on Death Mountain, so I can see him staying on Death Mountain. By the way, beans on toast, I can't recommend that meal. Beans, not a fan of them. But anyway, to each their own, I guess. In any case, the play of doing Misery Mire first kind of seems... I don't know, they can't, not Misery Mire. The play of doing Desert Pause first kind of fails from the chest density perspective, but it is a quick check. So knowing that it takes a lot longer to check the items on Death Mountain in the order that it would take to go through them, I could see him potentially doing Desert Pause because it is quicker. And he may think that Daanty's already made the check of Death Mountain, which he would be correct. At the same time, Kane and Asmari could now be in Hookshot Cave, but Daaanty has not checked that yet.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we'll see where GFE heads after this Ice Palace if he does not find this cane. I'm just thinking he will almost certainly head up to full clear Death Mountain just because there are so many checks there that he hasn't made yet. Daaanty has a few less to make than GFE does, but GFE has a ton of chests that he's left up there.
And there's the big key, so we don't need that necessarily because of the way that we do Ice Palace with the bomb jump. We don't necessarily need that, but that would be used for the big chest, so it would open the big chest. And of course, if KSR is a big chest, that's just, you know, rude. Actually, what is normally the vanilla big chest in Ice Palace? I forget.
Is it a mail upgrade?
Oh, maybe it is. Maybe that is the blue mail. Yeah, Chad is confirming it is the blue mail.
GFE is going to show off a nice little piece of bomb jump tech here in Ice Palace. It's a super easy jump to do. You just sort of wedge yourself in the doorway and press up and drop a bomb right where you are, and this gets you across this little pit right here.
Boom. And as you drop another bomb and blow up a hole here, maybe. I'm just going to fall down and use hookshot tech. So you're going to use the hookshot tech instead. Look at that! Kane and Samaria right here. Just, you know what? Forget everything we said about Death Mountain. 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 36 seconds. GFE 12 is in go mode.
Yeah, I was joke earlier about neither of our runners going for the Kakariko skip, but I think GFE is going to get away with the Death Mountain skip. Also very rarely seen.
Yeah, it's not very often you can say you didn't do anything on Death Mountain and you won the seed. Well, I mean, you have to go to Ganon's Tower eventually, but other than that.
Would expect, since he's sitting on the Tempered Sword, that he'll make a couple of those checks that are right in his path on the way up to Ganon's Tower. But we'll see how he feels about Master Sword Silverless, I think. Or Master Sword Ganon fight as a whole, not Silverless.
Yeah, he could still choose to look around to see what the third sword is if he wants it. It really does depend on a runner's preference and if they feel like they're behind or if they have to go for it. So we'll see what he chooses to do here. In any case, that is crystal number 6. He can go straight to Misery Mire. Now, again, he doesn't have to open the other chest unless he's looking for a sword. So he could decide he's done, he's in go mode, and just go looking for the big key. As soon as he finds the big key, he's out of there, he's off to the fight Vitreous. If he skips the other chest, you know he's probably comfortable with Master Sword. Again. Daaanty is now doing the Pyramid Fairy check. So this was actually a seed that you didn't have to step into any of the pending dungeons at all. That is also a rarity.
Absolutely nothing essential in any of those, which is very convenient. And yeah, this is definitely shaping up to be a very quick seed to GFE, for GFE in particular, heading into his last crystal dungeon right now at about a minute, or an hour and 9 minutes.
Mm-hmm. This is a very nice and friendly scene to that aspect too. Very quickly done, very well read by GFE, and the fact that he stayed within logic and got the glove out of Eastern Palace before going to Sequence Break the Hobo to get his second glove by accident, and then got the flippers in the Dark World, knowing that he did do it by logic, hit the first glove, and just found the flippers by accident. The fact that he did do that first glove in sequence, I think, did turn to his advantage. That's where he saved some time in this scene. And he ended up doing the same checks that Daaanty made that could have given Daaanty an advantage. Literally almost right away, as soon as Daaanty had already done them, he came to those next. So it just worked out so nicely for him in this scene. That everything lined up in perfect spot that you wouldn't have to worry. There were no pendant dungeon dips. There was no having to guess which dungeon had the item. It was all right there along the path in logic, and he just managed to find the right spot to go at the right time. And that first glove pickup in Eastern Palace really was the defining moment of this race.
Yeah, and Seed continuing to be generous as GFE gets the Godmire, finds the big key in the very first chest, and I think we see how he feels about Master Sword Ganon, because he did not even hookshot across to that bridge chest. He is just heading straight toward Vitreous. Oh, and pulls off the spooky action as well.
Yeah, he didn't even blink at that, so he's on his way up fast. He gotta go fast.
Bow is out. Arrow Vitreous fights are fast.
Yeah, Bow is out, and you're about to see the quickest Vitreous fight you've ever seen. Boss? What boss? So Daaanty is in the right place against KSMR. He's going to have to get over to the big chest to get that. But once he gets that, I think he's going to be generally very happy. Knowing that he's in go mode at about an hour 15 at that point, he has no way of knowing that GFE is in go mode ahead of him.
Very true. Showing off the hover strats from Daanty's side as well.
By the way, I'm going to interrupt you, by the way. We have to get our game started in the chat.
Absolutely.
We now have 7 crystals. So let's go ahead and get the game started in chat, and you have to guess a number from 1 to 22 for where the big key is in Ganon's tower. Let's get that going. And where do you think it is today, Cool Papa Bell?
I'm a big fan of the double firebar room, which is chest number 8, I'm going to call that.
Well, I just typed my number in chat, and even though I don't have a sub or anything to work with right now, you can see that my guess is always 11, because, well, always. It won for me the other day, so we'll see what comes up today. Oh, and I say that, and now I'm being gifted a sub. You didn't have to do that, but thank you.
So GFE probably will show us these Super Bunny checks. These would be silly not to check if you are still looking for a sword.
And it's more of a pickup along the way for him. It's nice to have at that point.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like he's going to go anywhere out of his way to check anything for that sword. Yep, it's just headed straight across to Ganon's tower, not even dipping into Hookshot Cave.
Okay, GFE is going into Ganon's tower right now, and the platform is lowering, and we're going to give a little bit of time for stream delay before we actually stop the game, but technically as of right now, guesses are closed. And let's see where it is. Good luck, everyone. Oh, well, there's your powder, so that'll help with the anti-fairies.
Our runners are going toward Ganon's tower with just green mail, but I believe GFE still has a fairy in a bottle. We just saw he has that blue potion as well, and now with the powder in his back pocket, I think he'll have plenty of safety for this climb.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a little happier with that powder there to get a little bit of extra health along the way if he needs it. There's our big key right away. he's going to clean out the rest of these chests. So that was number 2 the big key was in. And look at all these small keys he's getting. He needed some keys to go up. He's set for small keys as well now. So he has his 2 keys. He's out of here. He's heading upstairs.
Man, what a fantastic seed this is. Ganon's Tower, big key in chest number 2, a couple small keys there in DM's room as well. And we are just breezing through the tail end of this run.
Now, we did have someone in chat who got it right, but unfortunately it looks like that person is not a sub or supporter, so it didn't count. The closest sub or support, it looks like, was a 7 from Silk Soldier, who is going to get the win on the big key guessing game today, and congratulations. And that gives him 2 wins in the big key guessing game as well. And as usual, everyone is harassing Fear Agent, our tournament administrator, who has 6 wins on the big key guessing game, is leading the pack.
Yeah, it seems a little suspicious to me, but what can you do?
So GFE is going through the toughest series of rooms in the game. You'll have to believe me on that because I actually don't find them too hard with mail and safeties myself.
Again, having to spam out the fire rod shots is very helpful. GFE having some issues with the BMOS there, but he is just coming up on the last room of the gauntlet without too much trouble.
And Daaanty has taken out Coldstar, gets his piece of paper with images on it. Jeffy, meanwhile, takes out the worms and gets nothing.
Almost 0 cycle there in that lag-tacular Landmo 2 fight, but yeah, Daaanty is in go mode just a few minutes behind GFE, but it is not looking like GFE is going to give him any room to catch up.
No, GFE is blazing his way up here, and while Daaanty does have the Tempered Sword, the only thing that can really stop GFE now is if he has a problem in the Ganon fight with the Master Sword. He may check the other chests along the way just to see, and it happened the other day again. We had a Tempered Sword show up in the room right before Moldorm 2. So it can happen that sometimes the third sword shows up here. He may check along the way to see if it's there, and if not, he'll just go with the Master Sword. The only thing that can bother him is if he has trouble with the Master Sword Ganon fight. So as predicted, he is opening those chests. There's some blueberries, and there is a piece of heart. So he's going to lose a small amount of time to Daaanty in opening those chests. Daaanty has no reason to open those.
Is it a heart refill for him at this point in time?
That was actually a nice timed heart piece, yeah. Oh look, there's our shovel. Go dig up your fourth sword. Your final sword. And the Moldorm 2 fight, which for him is the Moldorm 1 fight, because he didn't see the first Moldorm. And he finds the cape, so at least he has some invincibility to work with in part of the Ganon fight now. That's going to be a nice thing to have.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty nice find there. Probably about the only other thing that would be helpful besides that third sword.
And he has the half magic too, so that's going to be very, very nice for him.
And with the blue potion as well, he can just absolutely spam his magical items as much as he wants to in this Ganon fight.
Well, still limits, but yeah, the half magic, and I think he only has 1 blue potion. It'll be interesting to see if he decides to get a second one just so he can spam that cape. But my guess is probably going to be fine with the fight. Oh, this is not a bad pattern. 2 chips here for sure. Nope, that was a blue ball and pushed him away. So we'd like to call this the geometry test. Got a double on that one. And nope. Oh, get out of there before he gets zapped. Oh, blue ball. So now we're on the average of less than 1 hit per cycle. He's not having a good time with this Aghanim 2 fight. Finally gets it on cycle number 8 by my count. And is holding his sword out the window. And acting like the bat has him. Creative. Gotta love our community. Creative like that.
Yeah, just because it's a tournament race is no reason not to go for some swag.
Indeed.
I think if he was just trying to convince us that he is definitely not a Taz right now and actually human, because his execution has been very crisp to this point in the race. That Aga 2 fight is sort of the only stump.
My minions failed to guard those items? Why am I surrounded by incompetent fools?
Hey, you hired him, Ganon. Your fault. So Daaanty now has his final crystal, and he is going to be on his way to Ganon's Tower. We have already played the Big Key Gussie game, so that will not be played again. And even if it was, it would probably be 8 at this point.
Daaanty unfortunately ran out of arrows during that Vitreous fight, which is going to cause a little bit of trouble in the first part of Ganon's Tower, unfortunately, since you needed to get through that first Mimic room.
He will need to pick up some sticks somewhere, so if he goes right side and finds the arrows there, that will work out, because we didn't see any arrows on the left side at all. He's going to have to search for some arrows. So we still have Phase 2 Ganon on GFE's side. He takes a death. This was the thing that I said would help Daaanty if GFE has trouble on the Ganon fight. He does have the fairy to help him out here. No swig, that he can't catch any more fairies. He'd have to get them from the waterfall if he wants any more. Because that one gave away the fairies today. So let's see if he can make it without any more fairies here.
Yeah, it looked like he was using up the last of his magic on the cape there and was wanting to use his blue potion, but unfortunately did not get to use it before he took another hit from a fire bat and will drink that right now.
And this is where it's going to start getting dicey, because he has to get all the spin slashes in, and he can't waste any of it on the cape anymore. Any more magic on the cape. If he's in temper tantrum mode, we are good. This should be fine for GFE now. It's just a matter of getting those spin slashes in Phase 4. So he should be okay now. He just wants to get the torch glitch, because that will save him a little bit of magic. That fire bat got out. This could be dicey. Didn't hit him. Did you find the silver arrows in the light world? Yes, here. No, we didn't. Oh, yeah, we did. Here, have one. Looks like he got the torch glitch, so that's good. And I was going to go light it again. I love how he didn't just say, did you find the silver arrows in your house? Anyway, Ganon is down. And GFE is going to be the first rider across the line. He's going to take Sphere of Infinity at 18 points to wrap up this regular season of the Link to the Past Randomizer League as he crosses the finish. And he does finish in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 23 minutes, and 44 seconds. Get your GGs in chat. It looks like Daaanty is going to continue to finish here. I don't see any forfeit in the channel, so he is continuing to finish.
Yeah, absolutely. Great race from GFE there. That brings Sphere Affinity up into a tie for 4th place, I believe, in the Lake Hylia division. So a very respectable showing from them in this inaugural season of the Link to the Past League. So congrats to them.
Yeah, 18 points is nothing to sneeze at. Just means that you had a few losses against other teams that ended up in the first 3 spots of the league, and they could have gone. Those races, I'm sure, could have gone either way, and if they had, they could have been Sphere Affinity that was in the final 3. So, very good season. They should be very happy with those 18 points out of this first season.
As the saying goes, randomizer for you, as we saw in this race, just this one decision that Daaanty opted not to head into Eastern Palace before following his sequence break was really the difference maker here. So those tiny decisions can definitely come back to bite you a little bit.
They most definitely can. That is definitely the case. And GFE is joining us in the broadcast booth right now. Congratulations on the win, and GG, sir.
Hey, thanks, guys.
So before I don't know if you heard anything that Cool Papa was saying a moment ago, but before we go into any description here, how did that seed feel for you?
I mean, you get to go mode. Death Mountain feels amazing.
Yeah, we were noticing that. You didn't do a single thing on Death Mountain before getting those 7 crystals. Didn't even have to touch the dungeon up there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I may have done that one other time ever, but that just feels so great. Don't feel that way, man.
Yeah, it was a very, very convenient that you didn't have to go up there at all. And a little bit of description now that, again, not knowing what you heard before when you came in. But one thing that Daaanty did right away that you didn't do, he sequence broke the hobo without the power glove at all. So he went and got a power glove from the hobo. He decided that's enough, I'm going to the Dark World. And he went to the Dark World and found the flippers, which is an immediate clue that there's another power glove somewhere convenient in the Light World. So he then decided to try to put off, and I don't question this at all because I would do the same thing possibly. He tried to put off the Palace of Darkness Eastern Palace play without the bow that he couldn't get because he didn't have the Titan's Mitt, which you were able to get, and you managed to do that play.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the bow was locked by the mitts.
The dwarf.
Wondering if figured he either got trolled by the glove in Eastern, or he got trolled by the hobo glove, because if you got access and you went toward Hot Cave Pyramid first, flippers to mirror and check hobo, and then that could put that off for a long time.
Yeah, the flippers was actually one of the first things he found in the Dark World. He did Hype Cave, and then he went over to check the flippers. He got them very quickly in the Dark World.
Okay.
So that took him no time at all. What did take a little while for both of you was getting the pyramid for the flute. You both took a little while to get to there because there were other things you were doing first. So I think he got to it first, and we thought that might be the advantage he needed, thinking the Pendant Dungeons would come into play. But the Pendant Dungeons didn't come into play at all today, so it literally was a case of just don't go in there and you're fine.
Yeah, when I went to Meyer, I was prepared to, I was going to check the shed and checkerboard, and then I was going to dip Meyer desert. I saw that hook shot. That swamp was already dead. I just went straight for swamp. Been feeling like Ice Palace was the play ever since I knew mitts were locked behind flippers. So I'm real glad I made that Ice Palace play rather than go into the mountain.
Yeah, and Daaanty sort of got distracted by the mountain again before he had the mitts when he found that first glove. So he finished off Tower of Hera, and that time that he spent up there checking Light World Mountain is really the difference in the race.
Okay, yeah, I figured he hit the mountain. I didn't realize that glove in Eastern was going to troll him so much. Anytime, like I said, you can go mode the mountain, it feels like you can't lose, unless the other guy routes exactly the same.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah, he did, and like you noted, he did go up. I was going to point that out too. He did go to Death Mountain. He did do Tower of Hera. It is cleared. He's trying to hover right now, by the way, and fell in the spiked pit of punishment. Didn't land on the spikes for himself, fortunately, but got nicked by an anti-fairy on the way out. So, but yeah, he did do Tower of Hera. I don't think it really trolled him that much, so to speak. It was just a case of he thought, I'm going to have to go up here anyway. It's a Pendant Dungeon. This is a good gamble, and I'm going to do it. And it turned out that there was nothing there, and it was just time wasted.
So I will ask, were there 1 or 2 swords on the mountain? I'm just curious.
Paradox Cave had one. We did not see all of Death Mountain because no one ever went to Hookshot Cave or the Ether Medallion or anything, tablet or anything like that.
Yeah, other than the only things I felt bad about in this seed, Aga 2 fight, which was horrible, and Ganon. I knew I had the safety, so I wasn't worried, but I haven't practiced that in a while, and it showed.
Daaanty gives up on the hover strat. And, oh no, he's going to try and do it again. Did a warning shot to get out of here, and now he falls again.
Oh, he won't give up. I know Daaanty. He won't give up.
He wants to get that hover done today. He's insisting on it. So let's see if he finally gets that hover, or if he's just going to go ahead and kill the worm.
Yeah,
I'm going to go to the left side. Go ahead. You got it.
Ah, there we go. We're definitely saying if your execution was very crisp throughout most of this run. That Mothula fight was very tight. So yeah, a really nice run from you.
Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. It, like I said, it felt good, except for those, and that was mostly nerves.
Knowing that Daaanty is probably finished on the actual race being 10 minutes ahead now, I feel worth pointing out that Aro the Azure, who gifted me a sub a little while ago, actually just gifted Daaanty a sub. So for doing that hover. Oh, and I guess GFE, you got one too for winning the race.
I'll take that. Appreciate that, man. Oh,
Daaanty finishing off Aga 2, and he's going to do the easy mode Ganon fight with a tempered sword, but
Looks like he got a triple on one of those shots too. I didn't catch it, but yeah, triple is very nice to get in the Aghanim 2 fight. So you do see the stats for JFE at this point. We see 124 out of 216. Again, Death Mountain was Daaanty hovering over the Ganon hole just for show. Just hover over a cuckoo hole. There you go. So 124 out of 216. That shows you how easy it was to find these items, which again, Ganon's complaining about incompetent tools guarding items that they don't really guard. Yeah, only 124 chests, and that's so many chests on Death Mountain, and even in Ganon's Tower, that you didn't have to open.
yeah. Honestly, that's probably the lowest rate I've had in a long time, and this actually did help. So I'll take that.
Daaanty getting a fairy refill here.
Well, before Daaanty gets in here, let me just real quick give you guys a thanks for commentating this. I really look forward to it. And thanks to the tracker, of course. Don't see who that is right now, but really appreciate them. And
There it is.
there you go. Thanks. And thanks to my teammates, P-Train and Sabo. It's been a fun season so far. I mean, it's done for us now. Pretty good fight considering we had probably the toughest schedule of any team. So
And like I said, for any of those races, any of those losses could have gone the other way. Again, I didn't see all of them myself, but any of those losses I'm sure could have gone the other way. And same with Team Captain, who also has 18 points. Their season's done too. You're going to finish tied with them for 4th place. Only one win behind the Titansmiths. So if any win had gone the other way, you would have been up there in the mix with Titansmiths trying to get the playoffs. And nothing to be upset about with the 18 points for your team. That was a really good performance, getting half the wins in the first go at the league. Very well done.
I appreciate that and look forward to the next season for sure.
Indeed. And by the way, Daaanty did get his finish. It looks like did our stream get paused or something? Well, he did get the dot done in the channel. I think he just might have cut the stream early or something like that. But he is. But we did hear the Triforce music. He did finish. His official SRL time was a 1:34.34. So get your GGs in chat for him. And I think he's already in the channel with us.
Hey, what's up?
There he is.
Hey,
GG, Daaanty.
GG, man.
Yo, GG, you totally killed this one, because I was feeling really good pretty much the entire run, except for my oops, I mirrored in Eastern instead of shooting an arrow. But other than that, I was feeling really good about the run. And then when I see a dot done and I'm in the bottom of GT, I was like, oh my gosh, he God routed it. Like, that was killer.
Yeah, I mean, you made the mistake of checking the mountain. Who does that?
Yeah, who checks the mountain with that many checks? Like, it was on my tracker, just lit up forever, and I'm like, well, it's not in logic because I sequence broke to Hobo, and you know, but yeah, I don't know, it was crazy.
You know what's really unbelievable? That sequence break to Hobo did you in. It's funny to think of it that way. You did the sequence break before you got the Power Glove out of Eastern Palace. GFE got the Power Glove out of Eastern Palace, and then sequence broke Hobo to get the Titan Spit.
So my logic was I made a really bad read. I thought about there was going to be a second sword in Eastern. And so my logic was, this is an Aga seed, and I broke Aga. That when I saw the mitts, or the flippers, that's what I thought. So I was like, unless, the bow shows up there, I don't really feel, behind with it. And then when I got mitts there, I was like, oh crap, I could have, done this differently. But, I mean, I don't really feel bad about reading it like that, but, that's the way it goes sometimes, unfortunately.
Chat is hearing your reaction. They're kind of agreeing with your thinking on that. They're saying that does make sense. So GFE actually made that comment in the chat. So yeah, it's a really interesting read. I never actually looked at it that way myself, and thinking that you managed to get away from Aga by doing something like that. But the question that comes to my mind is something I was floating the thought about very early in the race. When you found when you sequence broke Hobo and then finished the chain up to the Zora from there, and then went to the Dark World and very, very quickly found the flippers, did you immediately think, okay, there's got to be a Power Glove somewhere more convenient?
No, I that was when I thought the Aga play was the thing, because I got lamps so early, and standard mode lately for me, and like I said, it's just a terrible read on my part. Standard mode for me has been like nothing but Aga, which means I probably should have read it. Whereas, this one race, because I'm gonna bank on it being Aga, is not gonna be Aga. So that's I thought I got lucky. I was like, okay, I got around Aghanim, and I'm pretty sure GFE did too. Like that was my entire thought process with it. But oh well. Either that or the flippers were gonna show up on Zora, which didn't happen, and then I was trying to read the logic while playing, and here we are. But I liked my route. I mean, I thought my route was very convenient, just because of how much was open to me and how well I just wiped everything in. But just that mountain time sink with no payoff except a sword, which wasn't enough to really make up any time. That'll really set you back, as we saw here.
Yeah, and go ahead.
Since I had the glove from Eastern before I even had the Moon Pearl, chose to save and quit after Mini Moldorm Cave because I had my Dark World access. But I was like, no, if he went on to Ice Rod Cave, maybe he found something I didn't want to take the chance. So I'm lucky I went on and did that, because I probably would have missed the mitts for a while too.
Yeah, the fact that you see, and this just goes back to the bow. The bow was really the crux item in the sea, because it was a forced double dip in Eastern Palace. You had to get the first glove by logic to get to the Dark World, and then you were supposed to find the Hobo. And this is just logic. Obviously, you did the sequence break of the Hobo, which saves some time there. But by logic, you were supposed to get the second left out of the Dark World, or get the flippers out of the Dark World, then go back and do the hobo, and then go back to get the bow out of the Dark World from the dwarf, taking him home. So that's the logical sequence, and obviously with the sequence break on the hobo, we broke that by getting the Titan Spit and the flippers at the same time, pretty much getting the bow, and that's what GFE did. He got the bow and was able to do that very, very quickly. To that aspect, yeah, you said that he seemed to have god routed. That was the god route. That was the god route, so to speak, because he did the sequence break and got the bow as fast as he could, without even knowing the bow was there.
That raises my question for GFE: is you routed South Shore as the dam to Agena, and then you went to Eastern, versus where Daaanty did the dam to Mini Moldorm and then had Dark World access, and so then skipped Eastern Palace for a while. So was there a reason you went that particular way at the very start?
It's hard to say. I like doing Agena early. Pay off. I didn't want to go straight back to South Shore. I was going to go ahead and gamble Eastern because we were still missing at least 2 pieces for Dark World access. So I figured one would be in Eastern anyway. We had the lamp early. He was thinking of it for Agena, and I was taking the chance on that Eastern Dark Room being what that was pointing to. Was right. But after I got in the Dark World, that item placement of everything was just so crazy linear to my route. I got Mirror in Hype out of K45. Go up and get the bow from... Then you get Fire Rod in Thieves Town, so you can go to Skull Woods, where you get the boots. I don't remember where it went from there, but the rest of that was just crazy in that sequence.
I think the only thing that stood out for there was the King of Samaria.
So one thought I had kind of about this was this seed, like kind of hearing what you guys are saying, like the way GFE routed versus the way I routed. It kind of just makes me feel like this was almost the complete opposite of our team's Monday night race, where every time P-Train maybe would have gotten something ahead of GTG, and then a hint like spoiled it, and it was like if everything landed right in your lap, then I guess it was payback for that, I guess.
Yeah, that was a rude hint from that game.
I missed that one. What was that hint?
P-Train had made the play to do Graveyard Ledge early, and he found the mitts.
Ooh.
Then he went up to the mountain. Spectacle Rock Cave had a hint that said the mitts a glove is above the pose. And, maybe somehow that'll get skipped. And then he went into Hera, and the first hint in Hera said the exact same thing.
Oh, the duplicate hints.
It was pretty hilarious in a painful way for us.
I've had that happen with both hit tiles in Ganon's Tower. I have a clip of it. I've had that happen in Ganon's Tower. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that hint, maybe clip that, because that's funny. Anyway, we should probably start wrapping up here because I'm sure there's probably... Let me check the schedule very quickly. No, actually, I think we are done on Speed Gaming 4 for today, if I'm reading the right schedule here. So we are going to be done on Speed Gaming... Speed Gaming... No, I take that back. There's a Final Fantasy Randomizer race coming up here. So that should be getting started. I think we're actually taking more time than we should. Let me just check the status here and find out what happened with that. I'm just making sure it didn't get moved to another channel or if it's waiting for us. If they're waiting for us, we should get out of here. I didn't even notice that it was on. No, it looks like it may have already moved. It's sitting on... No, I'm looking at the wrong schedule. I have the wrong day. Never mind, ignore what I was just saying. We are done. This is the only event on here until 11:30. So coming up on this channel later on, there's a Zelda 1 multi-category no up A qualifier. And I'm going to learn to read the correct day. Sorry for confusing anyone who was looking at the schedule. So, any last thoughts for you guys before we do start to wrap up anyway?
So I'll say GG again to GFE, and thank you, Cool Papa and Cyclone. And I already forgot the tracker's name. You're awesome, because the tracker is the best job, and no one ever says thanks for it. So seriously, thank you, Rocket. There, Mechanico Rocket. I'm gonna call it that.
Minico Rocket. Yeah, Minico Rocket, I think is how you say it.
So thank you so much, guys. This league's been super fun. I'm glad I don't potentially get to go out on a loss. We're making the playoffs, so that's cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see how playoffs go. This has been super fun. I look forward to seeing how this league can improve, like in the next seasons as well. So yeah, thanks for doing everything, guys.
Yeah, I really appreciated it, and this league's been amazing. Look forward to watching the playoffs, even though I don't get to be part of them this time around. So good luck to the Titans Mets and to the other teams getting to move on there. And chat, enjoy it. It's going to be cool.
And I'll confirm who those teams are. Team 4K, 4th and 4 head, the Fendrana Drifters, and the Titans Mets all advancing. And we also have the teams from the Death Mountain. They are all confirmed to be advancing now as well. Let me check. No, 2 of them are confirmed to be advancing, unless this just did not refresh correctly. But I know Frami team, Frami will do an interview if we win that team, and Team Awesome are advanced. We still have the last locationers in Old Swega Jackson. Old Swega Jackson has one more match to try to get their berth, and the last locationers also was one more match to try to get it back, as the case may be. So that is still up for grabs for the last playoff spot in the Death Mountain Division. All made it, and we'll be advancing. So we do have a good playoff to look forward to. And hey, 18 points again, not bad. Tied for 4th place in the Lake Healy division. Good way to finish 6-6. You'll get them next time.
I was going to say, here in the Lake Hylia division, those top 2 teams, the Fendrana Drifters and Team 4K, are still fighting it out for who will get the number 1 seed in the division and get to jump straight to the semifinal game. So those matches are still coming up this week.
And that's actually happening in the Death Mountain division too. So those should be some very exciting matches when they take place. 1 game for each. I don't think they're against each other. I think they are against different teams. The Team 4K and Fendrana Drifters each still have both of their games to play. So we've got a potential 6 exciting races this weekend to look forward to. So anyway, let's go ahead and start wrapping up. I want to say again, make sure you follow the runners. Those of you watching on our YouTube VOD, by the way, on our VOD playlist, their names are exactly as you see them on the screen. Just go twitch.tv, followed by the name at the top of the screen, and you'll find their channels. You can go follow the runners, support them, and chat with them, and thank them for these wonderful races. You can also follow our tracker as noted, Minico Rocket, or Mina as wants us to call her. And make sure you also follow my co-commentator for the day. My co-commentator for the day, Cool Papa Bell 2282.
Yeah, and absolutely thanks to you, Cyclone. This is always fun. Great commentating with you. And thanks to our viewers. We put all this together for you, so thanks for coming out and enjoying some great randomizer races with us.
Exactly, took right out of my mouth. Make sure you follow Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6 especially. Even more than following us, because you know what, you'll find us here all the time doing these calls as well. So we love doing these calls, and we love putting these shows on for you. So we'll be here to do just that as time goes on. We love to have you here watching, and we love to break these things down. So please come back and watch more races. Speed Gaming 2 through 6. Give them a follow, all 6 of them. And hold on a second, because I'm being distracted by something in the channel here. Okay, problem solved. Okay, back to what I was saying. So we're going to thank you again, chat, for watching, and thank you on YouTube for watching the VOD. And I want to wish you all a wonderful evening. As for the schedule tonight, come back for the Zelda 1 event coming on later at 11:30. If you are watching on YouTube, the next thing to follow on the playlist will be another race in this league. So you can look for that race that I just mentioned somewhere else on our YouTube channel on another playlist. Have a great night, everyone, and I am Cyclone or Cyclone GU for Cool Papa Bell and everyone else here. Have a wonderful evening. May not all your seeds be pet seeds, and good night.